Hey guys, my name is Aashar Wahla and welcome to my new video. And in this video, we will be building this beautiful animation UI. So let's start development process. In the main page, we are simply moving toward the next screen where we will show the complete UI of the app. First of all, we will create a stateful widget with single ticker provider state mixing. As we are going to build our own custom animation, we will use animation controller. We will initialize it in the init state, so we will add the late keyword with it. The next thing we will do is that we want our animation not to be linear, and we want to add some sort of curve to it. So if you want to learn more about curves, then I will highly recommend you to watch the official Flutter tutorials. After that, to add that curve, we will use late variable of type animation double, which we will also initialize in the init state. So next, when we move into init state, we will initialize the animation controller. VSync value set to this and duration set to 3 seconds. So what is this keyword? This keyword is basically instance of the class which you are in right now and is provided to us by single ticker provider state mixing. And after initializing animation controller, we will initialize the curved animation by drive property of animation controller to curve tween and curve to ease in back. So curve tween and curve is in back. The other important thing while creating the animation controller is that you should always dispose it when the widget ends or disposes itself. So next we have a bool variable is completed set to false to check whether the slider is complete or not. So next, if we move to the build method, initially we are just setting height and width using the media query, which will provide us the height and width of the device. Then we will return our scaffold widget. So first we will create a ABBA which have a title and background color, and this background color will be dynamic based on its completed status. Then in the body, we will create a center widget which will make everything center and beautiful. And then we will give it an animated builder as a child. Animated builder takes two widgets, animation and builder. We can pass animation controller to animation, but we have an animation which have a custom curve. So we will use curved animation. After that, we have builder which give us build context and expect us to return a widget. So we will return a column, and within this column, the first of all we will build the custom slider, which when completed call a function, this particular function on completed ABBA color, and this ABBA color will just change this variable to true, and when this will be changed to true, then the color of our ABBA will change. So we will create a custom slider which will take following properties: height, width, animation controller, and uncompleted. So if we create a new file custom slider dot, and here we have built a custom stateful widget named as custom slider, and in that we will add all of the required properties: height, width, uncompleted, and animation controller. And in the bottom section we will also create a move width which controls the moved path of the slider. So how I build this slider is by placing a container over another container. And to do that, we will create a container with specific height and width, which will be in relation to the device size and width, and using a box decoration giving it a specific color and border radius. Then we will use a line widget, uh, which will center the container and will prevent it from taking the total height of the container, parent container. And we have given the alignment property of center left. Then we will give it a container with the custom height and width, and this width will be equals to the moved width which we have created up here. And same as above, using decoration property we will set border radius and color. We also have a text placed on top of these widgets. So we have a text placed over on these widgets, and for that purpose we will be using a stack widget. Then we will use a position dot fill widget to take all the available space, and then using center widget to align the text to center. And then after all that, we create a text widget to add text and style property to customize our text with specific color, font weight and font size. So if we go in the home, we will have to import this file, and if we rerun the app, so the app have started, and if we will see, we have the app bar and we have the slider. But if you guys can see right now, there is not slide functionality over here. So for this slide functionality, we will add gesture detector, which will be the main widget for the slider. And for that, we will wrap our stack with a gesture detector, and we will use on drag update property, which will provide us the updated position of the drag. Then we will use multiple statements to check if statement is greater than 0, then moved width will be equals to that particular position, and we will also of course set the state. And if the you can say the position of this ladder is equals to the or greater than the width of the container, which in this particular case is 60% of the device width, then we will call this function widget on completed, which if we go over here is this function, and then we will move our animation to forward, which means we will start our animation. So if we save this right now and hot reload our app, then there is a slide to continue functionality, and if we slide, then app bar color changes. Now is the time to add checkmark animation. For that, we will again create a custom widget named as checkmark, which will have following properties: height and animation controller. And of course, we will create a checkmark stateless widget. So this can also be stateful and stateless, it's up to us. So first of all, we will add a container widget in the build method, and give it a particular height. Then after that, using decoration property, we will give it a specific color and shape. Child of the container, we will use center, which will help us center the child container. And in this case, we will use the animated opacity widget. Whose opacity will change when the animation will be completed. And we will set the duration to 1 second. Then for its child, we will use icon widget, which will check rounded icon and white color and specific size. So if we run the app, there's some error, so we have to import this. And if we rerun our app, it looks something like this. Not the result we wanted. So to get our desired result, we will wrap our container with opacity widget, which will be dependent on the animation controller value. If the value will be less than 0, then the value of the opacity will be 0, else same at the animation controller value. So we will again wrap the child container with align to align it to the center and prevent it from taking all of the available space. So if we rerun the app after saving it, it looks something like we wanted. So for final touches, we will add size box over the opacity widget with the fixed height of 40% of the screen height, and we will dynamically increase it to 70% based on the animation controller value. And if we rerun our app right now and slide the slider, it will provide us our desired outcome. So I hope you like this tutorial, and if you did, feel free to subscribe and press the bell icon. It's me, Aashar Wahla, signing off, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.